The novel "Their Eyes Were Watching God" was a story about Janie's self-discovery life that goes through many obstacles. One obstacle that stood out the most was the marriage she had with her husband Joe. While starting off with being a wonderful materialistic type of relationship, in the end, the many gifts and dresses did not mean much to young Janie. Joe kept his power over her after a part of the story in which she felt that she had no choice but to give into the power beheld by him, Mr. Mayor, when she was about to leave him, and he told her that she would not have or be anything without him the way she was when he met her. But all this did not mean that she was done with her thoughts of one day having real freedom and love. And for about 20 years she followed the same routine, serving her husband, until she finally could not keep this up any longer. During an argument in their shop in which Janie walked away, Joe slapped her, and that day made them grow even more apart. It sort of gave Janie a little more freedom being separated from him. Joe's pride was still held in him, and he would not please Janie no longer. When his time of death came closer, Janie went to spend the last moments of his life telling him the truth about his issue on having power over everyone. He died, telling Janie to get out and that he wished she would die getting hit by thunder and lightning. And even though during his funeral she felt the sadness, she also felt the return of her freedom and independence. Janie has two grandiose moments of self-discovery, one when her husband Joe dies and the other when Tea Cake dies and she returns home. The two events bring her to discover her wild free self as a person in a big world. She finds the freedom to enjoy life the way she always imagined. The closest I have become to self-discovery would be when I became more religious. As a Catholic, I have to complete one of the 7 sacraments, which is confirmation. And for me to be confirmated, I would go to church more often, and Sundays I would have sessions in which I learned more about God and how to get closer to Him. To end my confirmation request, they required for me to go on a retreat for 3 days, in which we learned to love God and bond with each other. This happened August of 2011. Those 3 days, out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the woods, brought peace to me. I loved how I got to get away from life for a while and allow myself to think about me and not have to worry about anything. Behind the cabins we slept in was a big open grass field, amazingly green. Since the first day we arrived, that field got my attention so much. That same day after our session, I just ran out to the field and it was dark out, so the stars were shining bright. Laying on the grass, looking up, I felt the sky, a big blanket, over a small me. I felt free. That feeling seemed similar to Janie's when she runs wild and frees herself in
With
the
all the points I earned,
Oasis.
somebody left the gate open. I took him to the rock I really wanted.